Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask a musician, a band, an artist to come in, do 4 original tunes, sit down, talk about it, see where they're heading, where they're from, what's going on, what's up with the music. Tonight, again, unbelievable. Lately it's been crazy, man. I feel like we're super lucky that we continue to have these crazy guests, and tonight is just another example of that. As soon as I get done talking, you all will be able to listen to the tunes. But this guest, unbelievable songwriter and absolutely killer vocalist that has unbelievable controls. Earl, I think you mentioned the vocal control, just kind of
one of the best that's been in here since any of I've done a bunch of episodes now, and your vocal control, especially for a dude, is like it is really, really good. And listening in the headphones was awesome, and then we all listened just through the speakers, and obviously that sounded great too. But I mean, I was kind of blown away by the control in your voice. I wish I could do that,
we all wish we could do it. But tonight, our special guest, John Thomas Moore.
but it's only gonna bring me down. I don't wanna get stuck, I don't wanna get stoned, I don't wanna get drunk and drive myself home, but here I am, being your man, taking my hand, 'cause I'm coming up again. Oh, I'm coming up again. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Coming up again. Thank you. Pass me back my pen now, darling. Turn the engine over, get it charging. Let's get on the road. Girl, I'm starving. I was living on a river sound. Take me past the distillery to Harrods Crossing. Do a little driving, little bit of walking. Ain't a better place for sitting and talking. Feel the sun turning brown. Yeah, so we get high. Man, all my friends. Yeah, in the summertime. Oh, it never ends. Something in my blood, it's burning. Something about the song I'm learning. Maybe I'm a dreamer, honey. I'm just yearning for the country to know my name. Harrodsburg ain't that bad, girl. I know I ought to be making back the money that I blow, but since the Democrats killed tobacco, the county ain't been the same. Yeah, so we get by. Man, all my friends. Yeah, in the summertime. Oh, it never ends. There's a lot of people preaching that they don't know what I'm thinking, and they tell me that I'm singing, but it's never gonna slow me down. If you know I'm on a cover and I'm nothing like the others, probably disappoint my mother, and I'll probably never leave this town. Hey, yeah. Pass me back my pen now, darling. Turn the engine over, get it charging. Let's get on the road. Girl, I'm starving. I was living on a river sound. Take me past the distillery to Harrods Crossing. Do a little driving, little bit of walking. Ain't a better place for sitting and talking. I feel the sun turning me brown. Yeah, so we get high. And all my friends. Yeah, in the summertime. Oh, it never ends. La da da da. watched the way I changed. I watched to change your mind. You ain't ever gonna understand the pain you leave and left behind. We took for granted all the good things about our love, but now this lonesome feeling's like a chance from above. My face is not big. And I feel so good, my friend. I know you think I'm heading nowhere. I just want you to know I'm finally getting there, and I like you care. You saw inside my head, and it scared you off, I guess. Honey, if you couldn't handle that, I'm glad you did not see the rest. I guess that's how it goes. Some things ain't meant to last. Put my pedal down to the floor. You never seen me move so fast. My face is not good. And I feel so good, my friend. I know you think I'm heading nowhere. I just want you to know I'm finally getting there, and I like you care. Not like you care. Not like you. My face is not good. And I feel so good, my friend. I know you think I'm heading nowhere. I just want you to know I'm finally getting there, and I like you care. Not like you care.
How's it going, brother?
Going all right. I'm over here red-faced. I'm blowing flag.
Oh man.
But yeah, for real, fellas, awesome set. I checked. We all always check out the music like before you come on, and like Neil said earlier, I mean, you all sound like, I mean, a two-piece, but you sound like the record. I mean, you sound
like the record, yeah.
There's no faking it. I mean, you all sound great. I always love a two-piece. I say all the time on here, like I feel like the smaller the band, like there's just less room to hide, and you have to. I mean, you're filling a lot of space with just like an acoustic guitar and a cajón, like, and it really, it doesn't get stale or boring. I really like too the chord changes. I feel like you had some interesting changes that kind of made every song feel different. I would like that last song. I felt a little grungy in there too. Like it was just like kind of all over the map. I felt like with the tunes in a good way, where nothing felt the same, but certainly all you. Just cool stuff. Yeah, it was definitely a good one. I say this a lot, but I work a day job, worked all day. Today was awful, and then to come here and hear this like turns it around. So really cool set, y'all.
Yeah, no doubt.
Thank you very much.
No doubt. So you aren't alone tonight. Tell us who you got with us. Speaking of the cajón player,
this is Robert Bridges out of Lexington, Kentucky. I like to call him Big Bobby Bridges, just because it flows well, and I call it cajón hillbilly beatbox, and there's a lot of B's there. It's good alliteration, but yeah, it's one of my best buddies. Tell me you are, Robert.
Pleasure, Robert, Lexington, Kentucky. Slid in his DMs a couple years ago and never looked back.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went too. Yeah, it was perfect timing too, because I was like, 19, and I was pretty much ready to give up on this music thing. You know what I mean? Because like I was alone in it, small town. You know, not really many people around. But perfect timing. He hit me up. there's this weird thing where like if you post something with hashtag music, all these bots start hitting you up. So
Yeah.
his name got lost in those bots, and then he hit me up again a couple weeks later, and then I felt bad because I thought he was a bot. But but yeah, now he's pretty much my best friend, and yeah, we've been doing this for how long now?
20 months or so.
Yeah.
You know, talk like it's a new baby. 20 months.
20 months.
Hey,
It's like
John,
what,
do me-
15 pounds. I
do
think?
me a favor, man. Take that mic and kind of just pull it down underneath you a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, like that. That's perfect. I see your face now, man. The ladies are gonna love that. Don't worry about that. It's all right. That's what they're there
What
for.
is that, a Jaguar?
No, it's a Spencer Corbin
Yes, sir.
put together model for me, man. That's the old Hendrix. Pretty cool Strat there.
No, I look dumb.
Yeah, no, you don't. Don't worry about it. We can edit all that
Yeah,
out. I
just
told
say
you to
it.
move your mic. You know. All right, man. So the number one sign that I knew this was going to be a really, really good, not only episode, but musical guest was John got out and he totally felt the vibe and peed in the woods like immediately. I was like, oh, dude, this is the guy. He knows where the bathroom is. 'Cause that's where. Dude, sometimes I drive home and just step out. You know, if you know where you're at.
Yeah, you're one with yourself when you do that.
I mean, dude, you're right there with nature itself. I mean, I was like, dude, all right, this is gonna be a good night.
I was comfortable.
Hell yeah, you can get in the woods, man.
Good
It's
view
real
too
easy.
out there. It's
Good
like a little
view, great
valley.
view,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, I've got a perfect little view.
Hey, man. It's I knew. I was like, this dude gets it. So, so where are you from now?
I'm from Harrodsburg, Kentucky.
All right, tell us a little bit. You said small town. You were getting ready to give up on things, which we'll get into in a little bit. But give us a little bit of like background on growing up in that. Did you grow up in that town?
Yeah, I grew up in Harrodsburg. It's one of the places there's not really much going on when you're young. You know, beautiful place. My whole family's from one end of the county, Mercer County, and that was always my little bubble. Like, I mean, I was pretty much 17 or 18 before I met anybody that was like, wasn't there. I grew up not super far in the country, but 10, 15 minutes from town, and great place to grow up. I mean, really chill. Like, there's not really anything bad to say about Harrodsburg.
I tell you what, man. When you grow up, I'm you all drove here. These guys know I'm 10 or 15 minutes out of downtown Louisville, and it feels like a different world.
Mm-hmm.
And when I grew up right down the road, and I had one other family, Max's uncle and dad and other uncle, and that was pretty much it. I mean, like so it was super small, even though we're that close to everything. So when you say I was 17 or 18 before I met anybody outside of that bubble, it makes sense to me in a weird way, because, you can just be in that little thing that's just outside of whatever, and it's like you're in your own world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. So what got you interested in music, man? Starting as go back and take us to your youngest memory where you knew like music was going to be a thing. It just felt right and you wanted to play.
My family's Southern Baptist. I grew up in the church, a little church in Tableau, Kentucky. It's called Bethel Baptist Church, and about 100 people go there, and it's a very like organ and piano, traditional type of music, Baptist hymnal. So I grew up hearing just the entire church. The church was the choir, and joining in and like singing and like hearing how like even people who don't, major in music necessarily can like work together and feel something from music, like especially in worship. Mm-hmm. That's what inspired me. And I remember when I was about 4. I barely remember this at all, but my parents, they always torment me about this. When I was 4, I wanted to sing the national anthem at church, like close to July 4th, and they let me get up there and sing, and everybody like stood up and did this, like for no reason. They just were really nice.
At church?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No separation of church and state in that way. Like, they're like, hell, if he wants to do it, let this kid sing. Yeah. That's awesome.
And that church was really very welcoming to me, because I learned to play the guitar. Had a strange childhood, I guess, like just family stuff, and whenever my parents got me a guitar, that was like the first time that I felt like I had something that was mine to some degree. Like I felt like I was in control of something. And when I was about 16, I got up and played. It was like Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah, except there's a gospel version of it, like a Christmas version. And I got up and played that, and you know, I'm sure there's a video of it buried somewhere. But that was like my first experience playing in front of a crowd, and they were, you know, super supportive, and that's what, you know.
It's the best part about being a young musician in the church. You get a lot of encouragement. I was that kid, and we've had a lot of artists, musicians that come through here that started that same way, got that encouragement, and probably a big reason they kept going, you know, putting it up. You know, I don't know if you want to dive into it or not, because you said something interesting there. You know, you talked about the guitar being the first thing that you could control, and mentioned a little bit of a wild childhood. Was it just chaos? Was there a lot of stuff going on? Then that was the first thing that you could like put yourself into. I mean, how did that? What do you mean by that?
Well, so like the thing that made my childhood so weird, I won't like get into super specific details, but there was a lot of illness like in my family and stuff, and just you know, a lot of, you know, the thing that you don't want to happen the most happening to people around you, and just like feeling like you have no say over anything. And like whenever the first time that I learned a song on the guitar, I learned Maggie May by Rod Stewart, and I remember playing it, and it was like, you know, this is what I want to do. Like, I mean, it was just like the first time that I felt in control of something. Like I wanted to learn to play guitar, and I did it. And so it felt like, you know, I can actually do something for myself.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think there's a lot of people that gravitate to an instrument like that without realizing that's what they're doing. That they do have a little bit of control in something in life. So that totally resonates. And I think that, you know, there's so many ways that can be. It can be with illness. It can be with addiction, that people can just, you know, kids can get kind of lost in the fray and in the mix to where they feel like they don't have anything. I mean, especially these days, you can get isolated but still be, you know, bullied and all. It's just it's a different upbringing that's going on these days.
I kind of grew up that way. Like I was homeschooled. Didn't have like a ton of friends. My childhood was kind of crazy too. Like my sister had a lot of problems. My first guitar was stolen and sold for drugs. And so like from my sister. So yeah, it was, and I remember kind of feeling a similar way when I got another guitar later and it got damaged. And I was like heartbroken because I was like, this is like the thing that I have. And it felt like I can relate to
it becomes
those feelings. I mean,
it becomes so much more
like
than
part of
instrument.
you. It's like it becomes such a special thing. Like it was a shitty guitar. I paid, it was like $90. It was beat up when I bought it, but something fell on it, broke it. And I remember just being like, this was the thing I have. And it was like it's tough, but I'm glad that you got a guitar, because certainly, like I said, tonight was we have a lot of special nights in this room. We really do. Where I think, like Neil said, we're really lucky to come and do this. And there's so many good artists in this state, and like certainly like your voice is gonna stick, I think, with us for a while.
Yeah,
like
no
it
doubt.
was a very, very good set.
No doubt.
Like it was awesome.
Could you imagine? Have you ever been on stage and sang without a guitar? Have you ever been on stage and just sang in the last, now that you're doing it a lot, have you ever just not had your guitar and had to sing?
Yeah.
How terrible is it?
It's really annoying. I mean, it just feels so different. It's like a different ballgame completely.
You know, and I do think that part of it is exactly what you are talking about, and how I feel, and how most everybody that really loves their instrument feels is if you take that away and then tell them to do the thing, you're so lost. And I think that it's not necessarily, it's my thing in front. No, it's this box that you've been pouring your soul into, and now you're taking it away, and now you want me to do this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what do you do with your hands?
Yeah. Well, you learn the two of them together a lot of the time too. You know, like that's the only way I ever really found my voice was, you know, playing and singing. You know, so yeah, I kind of really learned them together. You know.
So what did you listen to growing up, man? Because like Earl said, your style is very, very unique. It has a lot of like bits and pieces. It's not like the Eastern Kentucky stuff that's coming. You know, the more, not even like Nicholas Jamerson and the Tyler Childers and that type. There's a touch of that, but it's not that. There's a little bit more of an edge.
There's definitely an edge for sure. Yeah. Like I kind of said, like that last song felt like kind of grunge. And I have a friend who describes their music as like grunge-tree.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're not like far from that. Like, even though you have like this awesome voice, the way you play and the way the songs are written, it is like, it has this edge to it. It's like a toughness that is very cool, especially like as an acoustic duo like this, super cool.
Yeah. So what did you gravitate to?
Well, first off, you said grungery, and it's this funny thing. So, like, when I was in high school, my friends would kind of, like, make fun of me because, like, I wanted to be a musician. And, like, whenever I was a teenager, a lot of angst, I love Nirvana. And, like, Nirvana really, like, changed stuff for me. And I would wear a Nirvana shirt while I wore, like, the boots that I had and stuff. And they would make fun of me and call me grungery. And it was just, like, an inside joke. And then people started saying, y'all alternative.
Y'all alternative, yeah, I love that, too.
So we were like, damn, this grungery thing actually isn't a joke. People like this. But when I was little, it was always classic rock, classic country, too. Eagles, John Cougar, ZZ Top, Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, and then a lot of like Waylon Jennings, some George Jones, John Cash, and even like Toby Keith and Eric Church, stuff like that. But
what makes those make sense too, because they write well-rounded songs and you don't leave anything open-ended. I think that the hooks that you write are killer, and that's part of what 90s country and that type of Toby Keith and even later the Eric Churches. I mean, that's what they do. They write well-rounded songs that make sense, that are good, that are easy on the ear, especially when it gets to the hook. And I think you naturally do that. I think that you come by your sound just because that's who you are. You're authentic to what you do. You're not trying for something. You're not trying to sell anything. I think you just are who you are. You're not that kid that's the alternative and all that stuff, doing it to stand out. You like Nirvana and you wear cowboy boots. So you write songs that kind of sound like that, if that makes sense. So I totally get it.
I think it's funny that you said Nirvana, because that's exactly what I was thinking on that last song. I'm like, this is like country Nirvana. Like, it's cool. I dug it, and kind of to just bounce off some of the stuff you said already, it would be really easy to kind of fall into the trendy like Kentucky country kind of music that's out there that is like Tyler Childers-ish, kind of like Cole and those kind of things. And it's cool to hear someone from a small town that just, I don't know, writes these... and there's nothing wrong with Cole songs and stuff, but there's a lot of that kind of music. And I feel like what you're doing, it's a different kind of sound, and it is unique to you, and it just feels very authentic.
Yeah, I think one thing bad, not necessarily bad, I think that if you have any type of that, you do get lumped in with that real quick. Yeah. I mean, you said that you get, you sound like Tyler Childers all the time. I really don't hear it. I really don't. Yeah. I mean, we've had people in that definitely do, and we've had.
And I love Tyler Childers.
I do too.
Yeah, definitely not. Not the first thing I think of when I hear you, for sure.
Yeah,
I really like the sound and the way you write, and it's good to be different. Like I like country-ish. It fits, like it is country-ish, but it's not just what you hear every day.
Well, and the craziest part about listening to every single one of your tunes is that it's something that we've never heard before, but it sounds familiar in the best way. Like because it is different, but then, like everyone has said, we can kind of hear all these different influences that are familiar to us because we grew up listening to all that stuff too. To where then we're like, oh, hell yeah. We know, hell yeah. It's awesome.
Well, so like the Tyler Childers thing, like he like really changed the game as far as like, because I never saw like music as something that somebody like me could do, because I didn't really have a sob story I was willing to tell, like for American Idol or something like that. And, I'm not a cowboy hat type of guy. And so like, I saw him on TV. It was him and John Prine and Jason Isbell on Austin City Limits.
Shit.
Man, like I just watching that on TV like legitimately changed my life. It was like, you can do this and not have to be a diesel truck type of guy. You know? And like Tyler Childers, mad respect, and that Eastern Kentucky thing, like that's really cool. And but like that's not who I am. And it feels like the whole goal of like this vibe, this genre or whatever of like the alt country, like the whole point of it was to be different, you know, and not just be lumped into the same category. But then after a few years, it becomes its own cliche, and then everybody's, I'm a coal miner, and
yeah, and you can continually fight that. I think as long as if you're true to who you are, you know, evolve. I mean, the older you get, like, you know, you watch that Austin City Limits, and it changed you. It gave you something. You hear Nirvana did something that changed your perspective. Continue to evolve like that. But I think the big thing that people, including myself and artists, get in trouble if they're trying to write something that sounds like something.
Yeah.
If you're doing it as an exercise that you're never going to record, but hey, I'm going to write this just because I need to. I'm got writer's block. Let me try to write something that sounds. But if you can just not worry about the noise, you know, not worry about what the industry, quote unquote, because what is that anyway, wants to hear, or thinks that they want to hear. Because I think that the big thing is, like, you look at John Prine and those guys, write good songs, you'll be around 40 years. You know, it's all about just continue to work, continue to write, continue to play, and gain your own audience. Don't worry about you know, what is success to you, and that's what's important. So I think we all kind of get caught in that sometimes, but I don't see you in that light at all right now, which is going back 20 months. So we've been doing this 20 months now, and I was just kind of doing the math. And your first Salt River Blues live EP came out in 2022, right? Yeah. So was that was that before or after?
So that's how I found them.
All right. So Salt River Blues is great. It's a live EP. If you haven't heard it, check it out on Spotify. I'm not even sure. Did you play any songs from Salt River?
Rice Cross.
Okay, so you played that on this, but 2022. After that, you know, little EP, 3 songs.
Yeah.
3-song EP. What put you? What was it that kind of gave you that? I don't know if I'm feeling it when you get the DM about, hey man, love to play with you. Because I listen to it and I go, that's really, really good. It's probably the same reaction that you had when you heard it. You know, so what was it that led you to be like, I'm just going to do this? What's he doing? What was it?
So I bought a drum set during COVID because I was bored out of my mind. I had 2 kids. I was like, I got to do something. And I've always been like, you know, percussion type deal. I've, you know, drums in the past and things, but I was like, all right, well, I want to just get a drum set. I'm like, this is kind of boring, like playing drums by yourself. You know what I mean? That's not like an instrument you can just like, I want to play a song and just play drums to the song. So then I was like, I think I saw him on some like a Facebook group, I believe, that he posted that looking for a drum. But this was like, I saw this like 8 months later.
Oh, okay.
So then I found him on Instagram. Like, dang, this is good. Like, this is like really good. And I said, hey, you know, we should play together. If you need a drummer, holler at me. Let's do it. And then I recorded, I have an electric drum set and an acoustic drum set, obviously cajones. But I recorded over, because Salt River Blues didn't have any percussion in it. It's all like string band stuff. So I recorded a, you know, electric drum set over it and sent it to him. And then eventually it was funny because like, I'm at this point, I'm 30, 31, he's 19. So it's like kind of weird. But he keeps me, or I keep him young, actually. That's what I say. He's an old soul. But so the funny story is, I think he was like, who's this 31-year-old like sliding in my DMs? And he was like, let's meet at a downtown Harrodsburg restaurant. Or no. Wilmore, Kentucky, a coffee shop. Yeah. Because he didn't want me to like come in and like shoot up his family or something.
Well, I mean, dude, coffee date, that's 15 minutes. Dinner, you know, that's more of a commitment.
But since then I was like, dude, you're too good to be playing, like, no offense to any Mexican restaurant. You're too good to be playing Mexican restaurants in Mercer County. Is what I said. And so we started getting stuff in Lexington. It's wild because the past, and I mean, I told you this, I was down, you know, where like the distiller, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Lexington at all. So down in the distiller district, like Goodfellas, that area.
Yeah.
So we were pulling in there. I don't think I told you this. And I pull in, it's like a nice day, and I hear someone in the parking lot playing Lyin in my head. I don't even know who they were. I'm like, this is wild. And then even like a few at Proud Mary, I saw someone just singing along to the song. I'm like, how do they know this song? It's like original songs.
That was weird.
So it it's weird stuff that you start seeing people sing along and things like that. And it's happened the past like month specifically. But
do y'all play a lot of shows?
Much as we can, yeah. I mean, every weekend for the most part. We're
Mostly Lexington or kind of all around the...
Yeah, mostly Lexington, yeah.
I got you.
And a lot of that's Robert. He knows a lot of people in Lexington. Super friendly guy. So like people.
Well, yeah, I say
when
the
he
next time I book Owls, I'm going to hit you up. You all play.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say we weren't getting to the end of this podcast for you guys. You got on a bill for sure. Yeah, man, I'm. It's wild. Well, I would say I was gonna ask, is there a progression? But I've listened to Salt River, and I know there's not. I mean, I know that like you were there already at 19 years old. It's okay, the camera's on me. You were there at 19 years old already. Writing good tunes, killer vocalist. So like it is at this just stacking, getting you out. Because, one thing is to really be able to do it and do it live, like we talked about, sounding just like you sound when you recorded and all that, obviously, because the first one was live, but you just got to be heard, man. I truly believe that your vocals they stand out.
Yeah, they're top tier vocals.
They
like
really,
we see all kinds of bands in here, and we get good singers, but like legit, the control of your voice is really incredible.
Yeah. So what have you been up to lately? You got we'll go through the progression. You had the Salt River Blues live EP. You had 17. You've had Not Like You Care, Line in My Head. The most recent coming up was released in 2024. When was that released, by the way?
Coming up?
Yeah.
I think it was maybe late 2023, early 2024. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah. 2024 says Spotify. So
you
know what that means. It means it's time for you to release some more stuff, man. So what have you been up to? I hear before we started talking on mics, you have, 8 or so songs you've been working on, new originals and
Something
stuff?
like that.
So what are you doing with those? You just working?
Working. We play them live as much as we can. There's a producer out of Lexington, Kentucky named JT Butcher with Valwood. And we've been working with him trying to get some stuff recorded, which we have, I think all of the, the basic tracks that we wanted to do, like vocals, guitar, cajon, cause we were going to kind of go for a minimalist thing. We've been having a lot of trouble throwing a band together. The dude that, played lead guitar, Caleb, he's one of my best friends. He had a lot of stuff come up, just, important life stuff, and couldn't be there as much as he wished he could. And, he just kind of, rather than us count on him not be able to come, he just kind of told us, he wouldn't be able to for a while. So we've kind of been trying to fill that gap a little bit. We got a bass player from Harrodsburg who's a great dude. His name's Josh. So we've been trying to get some good stuff recorded, but it just feels like we're on the edge, like we're getting closer, but it's takes longer than I would have ever hoped.
It takes forever.
It really can, man. You can get super nitpicky, and it can just take a long time, a lot of money. All the mixing process, man, there's so much involved. But as long as the songs are there, man, I just listened to the stuff I've listened to it quite a bit today, over and over, really. I just had it on here rolling. So it's so good, so catchy. I'm super excited to hear what the next bunch of songs sound like.
I hope the next thing you put out is live at Top Hill from today, because the tunes do sound great.
Yeah.
And it'd be cool do you ever do full band shows, or are you still trying to throw together a full band?
We did a few times whenever we had a full band.
I feel like, that would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
The duo is, I love the duo, but there's always something cool, to hear a little more stuff. So it would be interesting to hear you all full band.
Do y'all ever play as a 3-piece with just that Josh, the bass player? You guys and Josh?
No, he's so most of our gigs are cover gigs, and we usually do 3 hours or so of just covers.
Okay. So, man, I think this is just personal opinion. Continue to do the cover gigs because those are easy money gigs. And we may be able to help. I'm sure Earl will get you on a show of his soon. But you all need to do the 40-minute sets where you just go, look, we might make enough to cover our gas to drive to Louisville, or get on at Owls and make, we'll see what happens. But even if it's just hey, we're going to play 30 minutes and play the originals, because a lot of those crowds are going to hear the originals. It's 3 bands or 4 bands and not having to cover the 3 hours. I think that you guys are going to like stand out in some of those. So it'd be important to kind of like dip your toe in with other people if you're not already. I mean, you may be already. Those 3-hour gigs, man, they're great, but it becomes a job real quick.
Yeah,
for sure.
So we've got one on Friday. Today's Monday, so Friday. We're gonna do some covers, obviously, but mainly originals. But we paired up with a band called Trippin' Roots out of Lexington. Right, they're from Versailles, I believe. But 90 minutes, so a little bit ease into it.
And we do kind of look for those gigs. It's hard. I mean, I'm sure it has to do with me looking like I'm 17. It's hard. Like finding connections is that's really the hardest part of this game, is like figuring out who you need to call to become a part of something like that.
Well, it's interesting you say that, man. So Earl missed the call yesterday, but we were on a group yesterday and we were talking about that stuff with me and a few other people around town, other musicians, and specifically about the Monarch. That's what most of it was about, and how to generate more things like that there, which is strictly one idea we're kind of throwing around is a night where maybe once a month you get people, musicians and all that together just for that. Hey, do you have, contacts, sharing, hey, we got a bass player up here that's always looking for gigs. If you want to, even putting together like a database to where you can go, well, here's this person's a member. They're also a bass player and a guitar player. They are looking for to play with other people. So, I mean, anyway, the Monarch, I always pitch the Monarch and I love that place, but that's just, you all have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Yeah,
you
Daniel Kane played there not that long ago. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Daniel played at Top Hill Takeover with us.
Okay.
And it was awesome, which if we do it again, you would be a perfect fit for a Top Hill Takeover at the Monarch. You really need to play that place. I think they would love you. You would go over really, really well in that room. And then what it is it's a listening room. They don't sell anything but memberships, and that's what they are driving for that. So I mean, like the more we can get people to join and realize what an important space that is, I think I just want to shout that out real quick. But that's what they're talking about, stuff like that, getting together for networking, getting together a time or two a month for songwriters to be able to do the same thing, network, kick around ideas, but specifically 1 or 2 a month. They're also thinking about like really cool things. But I really think that's, for somebody like you, would be so key to go meet people that are doing what you're doing, that have those contacts, that would go, hey, dude, I heard you. I'd definitely play a show with you. Let's do a show down here. I got an end at this spot. We can get this other band, and then we can do an original show. It's key. And this community's been awesome. And this Louisville music community, all of them pull for each other and for other musicians, as far as I can tell. Right? Don't you feel that way?
Yeah. I think that's the best part of living here and being part of the music scene, is it is really supportive. It's not like a competition. People they share their contacts. They tell you, like, if you, like Neil said, like if someone's looking for a bass player, they'll be like, the other day someone texted my group message and they were looking for a bass player, and a bunch of replies, people like throwing out names. And it is like hard to find contacts. I don't know if you're interested in playing up here much, but I got a big list of Louisville contacts I will send you, and you can reach out. Like I have pretty much all the venues around town's contact, and I'm happy to share that with you. Yeah, because it is hard to like accumulate lists. It's hard to like know who to talk to, or like basically it is just networking, and that's how you get gigs, is like just talking with people. And I don't know how many gigs I've gotten just from doing this show and talking to people like you. But yeah, I hope that you do more originals. I hope when you're doing these long cover sets that you're doing these originals there too. Good. Because like people need to hear these songs.
Yeah, and you better tell them, because I don't think they would know if you didn't say, hey, this is one of mine. Because like Spencer said earlier, there's a familiarity somehow in some of this stuff. But I think it's more about feel than sound.
I mean, like we listened to you play them live, and then we played them like over the speakers, and I felt like I could sing along to some of the tunes, like part of them, and just from the one listen. And so it's not like they're like familiar in a bad way, but it is like I don't know. It just makes they're good songs. Is like kind of the simple way to put it. I think you've really have something cool, and you do need to do more original shows, and that's like the thing. I think when you do you have a day job, or is this like what you're doing? Yeah. Well, if you have a job, that helps because like the 3-hour gigs pay well, but a lot of times they are on like Fridays and Saturdays, and like if you're trying to do original shows, you won't make as much money. And I feel like that's kind of the tough thing with music and trying to balance work and everything. But if you have a job and you're able to like at least once a month skip one of the 3-hour gigs to find like a local show with some cool people, you should do that because like your tunes are great. And like Neil said, getting in front of people is that even if it's just a couple at a time, I think would be
I think it'd be good for you, man. I think it'd be important for you because you're good, dude. Your songs are good, and people will hear that. Other musicians will know it, and they'll want you on the show. So it's pretty simple, right? Don't you think, Spencer?
Indeed.
My man. I just had to say something because he's been awful quiet over there.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the third guest host tonight.
Well, it's good conversation, and y'all are having great conversation, and then too, I don't think it was brought up, but one of the awesome things too is that you're only 22.
Yeah, dude.
And you already sound like that. You're already writing songs. So the only thing that can happen is just to get them out there and for everybody to love them.
Yep. And don't be discouraged. You know, the biggest thing is if it's 8 years or 2 years or 4 months or whatever, you know, if it's in you, you'll be miserable if you ain't doing it anyway. But just, I think that everybody has to really like redefine at some point. What does success look like? What is it? Who makes $1 million playing music anymore? It's got, you know, I mean, is it realistic to think that Spotify plays are going to add up to money in your bank account? It's not, you know, there's a lot of hustle to it. The ones that are successful are the ones that are always, you know, I think of like the Nick Dittmers and all the guys that are just doing the thing and constantly hustling, constantly putting themselves out there and creating their own success, their own reality and what that looks like. I heard one time, like if you have 1,000 people that totally buy into what you're doing, you'll always be successful. You'll make enough to live because they will support you. They'll come see you. They'll buy your products. They'll do the things. I don't know if that's real or not because I've never had 1,000 people like me, but it could be. So man, just don't. 20 months ago, you were 19 years old and you were already discouraged, you know, just thinking, where's this going to go? Thankfully, you got a DM that kind of lets you realize, dude, you know, don't get discouraged. Keep doing the thing. Reach out. If you ever need any of us for any, hey, I want to do a show up there. I'm sure it'd be real. Just send us a message. We'll figure it out, right? Because I believe in you, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone who does music gets discouraged or feels like, God, you know, like if someone says they haven't thought about quitting, they're full of shit. Like, I feel like everyone has it. Like, I'm like 10 years older than you. And so when if you just stick with it, I mean, when you're my age, how far will you go? And I feel like when you stick with something, like I played sports growing up, I was lucky enough to play a little bit in college, and I feel like just because I stuck with it as a kid and I got to do some cool stuff and play in college, and I feel like with music, I haven't done it that long either, just a couple years. And in a couple years, I've gotten to do way more stuff than I ever could have imagined. Like I do this podcast, I've gotten to open for some cool folks, play some cool venues. Yeah, played some little festivals and whatnot. And if you'd asked me a couple years ago, I would have thought that was crazy. And for some people, playing a little festival is not a big deal, but it is like, it's something, man. And I feel like if you stick with it, which it sounds like you're going to, I feel like, I'm excited to see what you're doing at 25 and at 30 and 35, because I think you'll be doing some cool stuff. Like you certainly will.
The silent dude over there, Spencer, is one of he's, you know, your age, 22, 23, just turned 23. Yep. And he's, I've been with him forever at this point.
Since I was 16.
Since he was like 16, playing guitar for me and stuff. Yeah. And if you listen to him, he's been the worst guitar player that's ever played many a times. He's like, I hate extra strumming. But it's just those moments of getting discouraged because he's one of the, you know, he's a lead guitar player for him. He's a lead guitar player for me. He plays for everybody. Sits into, it's just a thing. Everybody gets that, but it's knowing.
And it's just really weird too, because I've, especially like here in town, like it is hard to meet contacts that are like, for me, around my age, you know, like you're the first person that has come in here that's been, you know, in their early 20s and out there playing music. There are like a couple others.
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
I want to challenge that.
who else? Maybe I'm just like, maybe I just don't know.
I don't know.
I'll bounce off.
Oh,
I just say I think it's cool. Like what he's saying. Like I think it's cool that there's people like, you know, younger and stuff. Because I mean, especially like Spencer and I, we're like 4 years apart, something close in age. So it's like pretty much like we don't really see a lot of it. And it's really cool to see someone doing it as successful as you, not only like music wise, but performance wise. Like lyrically, it's some amazing stuff, and also vocally, it's amazing, and just overall, just sonically and everything, it's amazing. Like what you're doing and how much you're doing. Yeah. Sorry, I'll give it back to you.
All right. Well, John, for all our listeners who want to check you out, want to listen to you, want to follow you, want to see where you're playing, all those things, where can they find you?
The easiest way to find out where we're going to be playing is probably going to be Facebook. So it's just the John Thomas Moore music page, correct? And I'm on Instagram. I've recently made a new Instagram because the other one was just a personal account. I've had it since I was 12, and so, you know, I figured I might as well.
All your fun stuff?
Yeah.
All right, right on.
But, and TikTok too. I'm on TikTok. I don't have much stuff posted. That's one thing I want to talk to y'all about, is like how much I just deep down in my heart I despise TikTok. And
oh, yeah. Dude, it all sucks, man. It all sucks, but it's tools of the trade.
Yeah, but you got to do it.
You almost have to do it, and you know you got to figure the hardest thing in the world about being a personal business of any sort, which you are as a musician, you guys know as a band, and as like this podcast is, you have to do that. You know, I mean, you can't just put a billboard up. Nobody pays attention. You got to do the stupid things. You got to try to get in an algorithm. It sucks. It sucks. TikTok. You suck, man.
TikTok sucks. Then JohnThomasMoore.com.
Yeah, we got a website too, JohnThomasMoore.com. Yeah. And Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, burn those things up. What about you got, not to put your feet on the fire, but do you have like an idea date release for these next songs?
No, I don't want to say. If I say something, I'll be wrong.
No, you didn't. I like making you say stuff, so you have to do it. Yeah.
I like the live at Top Hill thing.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. That'd be good.
Within the next 3 months, we'll have at least an EP out. You know,
there you go.
But that could blow up in my face too. So
yeah, it won't blow up, man. It's just exciting to kind of put it out there. If 3 months it isn't out, people will just be looking for it. So
it'll blow up in popularity. That's what it'll blow up in. So
that'd solve all my problems.
Robert, same man. Just where can we find you, buddy?
Same here. Just I'm at my house with my 2 kids. That's where you find me. Just hanging out with him, playing music.
Do you run the website or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I started that website, created that. Then most of the Facebook stuff. You got to be older than 30 to be on Facebook, really. So I did that.
Yeah, you didn't qualify when y'all got together, man.
No. So it's good that what it's a millennial. Am I a millennial? 33? 30?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm a Gen Xer or something. I'm way
Gen
older
X
than you guys.
But yeah.
I'm in that weird in
I don't
between.
even know what generation.
You'll find me in the background a lot of his videos.
Yeah, if I'm playing somewhere, I can almost guarantee Robert's gonna be there.
All right. Sweet. Well, whenever we get a Top Hill takeover again, you guys will definitely be a first on the list to do that for sure. I'd love to have you guys. So we'll make that happen and maybe get you some connections while you're at it, while you're in town. Get some people with you. Max, what you got going on, buddy? I hear you got a big old release date coming up.
Yes, sir. All right. Finally got the album date. Debut album Growing Pains is out August 16th.
Hey.
All streaming platforms.
Right,
there's already been 3 singles beforehand to lead up to it, so you can find those under my name, Max Donahue, Donohue, because everyone loves to mess it up, and that's okay. And it's just three songs on there, one edited version just to make it a little shorter. You know, I know the attention span of my demographic in my age group. So.
47-second songs.
Yes, sir. But yeah, you can find me with that. And then on just socials, Max Donahue Music, or my personal is just max.donahue on Instagram, both of those. And then TikTok is just, I think, max.donahue as well. So.
Well, we got another Donahue in the house. Meg, do you want to tell everybody where they're at so they can come say hi?
What up?
What up?
Here in the flesh.
All right, Spencer, what you got, buddy?
Just if you need any luthier needs, any guitars or instruments fixed, just hit me up at spencer.corbin on Instagram. I believe it's the same on Facebook and all that stuff. And yeah, that's about it.
What you got, Earl?
Yeah, Earl Bowman on everything.
Got any gigs coming up?
I am playing a little festival on Friday called Bash on the Branch in Estelle County.
All right, what you got after that?
I am playing a Wednesday show at Mag Bar with 2 out-of-town bands. I'm sure it's going to be
packed.
Absolutely packed house. Yeah,
Right.
6-7 people there. Yeah, get tickets now before it sells out, because Wednesday at Mag's always a wonderful show.
If the car is not run through the place. So
Exactly.
you never know. All right, be sure to follow us, Top Hill Recording, on Instagram, all that stuff, Spotify,
Everything.
YouTube, blah, blah, blah. TikTok. Oh, TikTok. Yeah. Brad's pumping out the videos these days. So, make him happy. Subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. You can find me, Neil, somewhere. I don't know. I don't even know my Instagram name, but I'm on there somewhere. Check it out. Until next time, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
fellas.
Thank you.
Yeah.